Is farming an entrepreneurial adventure? Yep. And so did you have to work off the farm? Did you inherit it with expenses, with buying out siblings, and now you got to keep it alive? Is anybody talking about that? Are you proud of that? Because you should be. You should say, I farm X amount of acres and I started from scratch and I inherited a huge bill because I had to buy it from my siblings. And this is what I did to keep it. Hello, 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 and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. All right, let's talk about this hot subject. This is funny. This came up for me 2 times in 1 week where I was talking to a farmer and they said, Mary Jo, it annoys me. Somebody asks me, oh, how many acres you farm? That's annoying to me. They don't need to know that information. And then I saw it again on TikTok. Somebody said, hey, when people ask you how many acres you farm, do you actually give them the number? Because I don't really know how to feel about it. Well, of course I piped in, but I find it interesting. Farmers and ranchers are a little bit different in this category. Farmers find it offensive when somebody asks how many acres they farm. Ranchers, when somebody says how many acres you run in, how many cows you run in, ranchers typically are more than happy to answer that question, right? Because for them, it's a matter of how many cows are you running per acre. Where you have grass, what does that look like versus where I'm at? I've never had a rancher complain about that. I've never had a rancher even bring that up really as an offense. And I might be wrong here. I might be wrong. I'm sure I will hear about it in the comments. But here's my challenge for farmers. And this is what I told the farmer that I was talking to. I said, why don't you want to tell people how many acres you farm? Because you should be proud of the fact that you farm what you do. Why would you not be proud of that? It's not like you did that overnight. People are going to say, oh, must be nice. Yeah, because they're small thinkers. Obviously, I wouldn't let that bother me because you just respond with, it is nice. It's actually fantastic. Happy to do it. That's why I'm doing it. But why are farmers so offended by this? I truly cannot get my head around this one. I could try to think about reasons they're offended, but none of that to me would be a good reason. When people say, Mary Jo, how many clients do you have? I have no problem telling people how many clients I have. If they say, hey, Mary Jo, how many states do you do business in? I have absolutely no problem telling people how many states I do business in. Because there are people out there that cannot fathom, even some of my own clients that are local. When I posted on I have a group that's just Farming Without the Bank clients on Facebook. And in this group, I posted a picture of my map and that I have clients in 47 states. And they were amazed. They could not believe that I have clients in 47 states. And then I think, what do you think I'm doing at work? Sitting around eating bonbons? People that think, Mary Jo, you don't know anything because you're not farming. Okay, but I've talked to probably 2,500 farmers one-on-one at this point. Counted them a couple of years ago. We were at 2,000. I talked to several hundred every year. And so if I'm at 2,500 clients or 2,500 meetings one-on-one, I would say that I probably have a good idea of what's happening in the farm industry. I have had people say, there's no way you can talk to that many people when I work at Farm Credit and I talk to X amount of people. You talk to only people in your county. I'm in 47 states. I think that if we would share information and farmers would say, hey, I farm 15,000 acres, and then follow that up with, but that's taking me X amount of years to get there. It's going to actually put into perspective what these young farmers need to do. I farm 15,000 acres. It's taken me 25 years to get there, and I worked off the farm for X amount of years to do that. The younger generation or the people that just want to say, oh, must be nice, are not going to have questions. but you might be able to pour into somebody that wants to be like you. And they achieve to get what you've got and to get where you've gotten, and they don't know how to do that. And so it's such hard work. Y'all are out there talking about how hard it is, but then you don't want to tell us what you've accomplished for that hard work. I honestly, let me know why. Because every farmer around you knows how many acres you're farming. They know. It's not a secret. Because they can see the size of your equipment. They know what field you're in, because y'all are driving around watching each other, right? You're all competing for the same ground around you. So if it's somebody in a different county, or it's in a different state, or you're at a farm show or something where somebody is asking how many acres you farming, what does it matter? And here's the thing. If you're farming 300 acres, you should be proud of that 300 acres. If you're farming 40 acres and it's your first 40 acres, you should be proud of that because you just got started. You actually took the step to do the thing that most people are not going to do. I mean, how many people are like, oh, it's only 40 acres, but it's 40 acres. What does it matter? If it's what you want to do, then farm your 40 acres. If you are embarrassed or not proud of what you've done, then I could see why you wouldn't want to tell people. But I don't get it. I am more than happy when I come in contact with another insurance agent that's within the infinite banking concept, that is within the Nelson Nash Institute, I should say, and they're asking me, hey, how are you doing? What are you doing? I just had a phone call with a colleague 2 weeks ago. And she said, Mary Jo, what are you doing? Because you're writing so many policies and helping so many people, and we're struggling right now. What are you doing? And I'm happy to help. What does it matter to me? I cannot serve every single farmer. I try. John and I try. But we can't serve every farmer. And not every farmer wants to do business with me. There's a lot of people that don't like me. That's okay, because I probably would not like them either. And so therefore, they're going to go to a different agent. Kudos. Great. Whatever. Get started on the concept. Pick somebody that knows what they're doing. Pick somebody that knows what they're doing about what they're doing with farming, and we're all good. Right? But I am going to tell people what I'm doing. In fact, I am on the council of the Nelson Nash Institute, and we do coaching academies for other agents. I share with them exactly what it looked like for me to grow where I'm at. I am very proud of the hard work and what I've accomplished. I am not going to hide that because it helps the younger agents. They will tell me all the time, you are the only agent that ever talks about how hard it was to start, how you were starving, how people didn't believe you. There's very few people out here that talk about that. How many farmers talk about that? How many farmers talk about how many years they had to work off the farm? How hard it is to keep up? How hard it is to get ground? How hard it is to keep ground that we're renting? How lean things had to be in order to get the equipment that they needed and make those payments. Nobody talks about how hard it is. They talk about how many long hours they have to work, but they don't actually ever put a timeline in to say, yes, I'm proud of what I've done, but. And so you're actually hurting, in my opinion, you're actually hurting your industry by making it look easy. I don't make it look easy. You can ask any agent that works with me, and they will all tell you I tried to talk them out of this business. Not because I want clients for myself, but because it is so damn hard that you better stick around for 5 years and you need to work day and night and live on nothing to get where you need to be, to where you can survive at year 5. You're not making money at year 5. You're surviving. You can buy groceries. It's a hard industry. Most people will not survive. I think it's like 3% survive past, I think it's like 1% survive in the first year. They get to year 2, And then if you get past year 3, you're like 5% of the 1% or something. If I remember the numbers correctly, I'm most likely off. But it's a hard industry. Is it any harder than any other entrepreneurial adventure? Nope. Is farming an entrepreneurial adventure? Yep. And so did you have to work off the farm? Did you inherit it with expenses, with buying out siblings, and now you got to keep it alive? Is anybody talking about that? Are you proud of that? Because you should be. You should say, I farm X amount of acres and I started from scratch and I inherited a huge bill because I had to buy it from my siblings. And this is what I did to keep it. Right? I really want to know why you guys are so protective of that information and you're not proud of what you've done. And then you look on the other side of it and people are like, oh, you're driving a new pickup. Must be nice to be a farmer. And then you guys are mad because people are asking you, oh, must be nice. Yeah. Yep. Sure is. That's your response. Sure is. I run a business. I made a profit. Sure is nice. It's that simple. Nothing to feel bad about. If others want to get where you're at, they can do what you did. But why we hide it, I'm just not real sure. Ranchers don't do this that I'm aware of. Ranchers have a little more camaraderie, I guess you would say, amongst themselves. This is how many acres I run. This is how many cattle I have. They can see what everybody's cattle sold for at the sale barn. It's a little more open book. Farmers hide their contracts. They hide how many acres they have. They hide their contacts for brokers. Everything's a big, huge secret, as if somebody's going to come in and swoop it. And is it because y'all are gossiping at the local restaurant? Y'all are gossiping about each other? I don't know. I don't get it. We have this huge side of competition. And then we have this other side of, hey, guess what? If my neighbor has cancer, if somebody died, whatever, we're all going to come in like we love each other and we're going to help one another and it's going to be fine. But you don't, because you don't even want to work together. You don't even want to talk to one another. I don't get it. I own farm ground. We own ground. And I posted on my personal page the other day a picture about how proud I am of where we've come from. What a difference 15 years makes. And then look back to really think about how we starved in those 15 years, what we've done, just what's happened. Like I rarely ever stop to look back. Hardly ever. It's rare. And I was telling my husband, oh, I posted this and, I posted that we own hundreds of acres and we've got rental properties and we've got all this stuff. And he's like, why would you post that? I said, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you try to be inspiring for somebody else? If other people look at me and they're jealous, that's on them. That's on them. Come, do what I do. I love it when people say, oh, must be nice to make that kind of money. Yeah, actually it is. And if you want to make the same amount of money I do, then you are more than welcome to go get your life insurance license and teach the infinite banking concept. And I am happy to teach you how to do it. But guess what? Based on last week's podcast, maybe 1% will do that. Maybe 1% will survive. Highly unlikely, but just maybe. So instead of complaining, moaning and groaning and saying, oh, it must be nice, come do it. If you tell somebody how many acres you farm and then they come back with oh, it must be nice, you should say, you know what, it actually is. You're more than welcome to participate as well. Happy to show you how we did it. Guarantee you'll never get a phone call. So why even care if they ask? Let the rumor mill spread. By the time the rumor mill is done, you might not farm 10,000 acres. You might farm 20. You're better than you even thought you were. How awesome is that? I think I talked about this in last week's podcast, but it's so awesome. I'm going to mention it again. I listened to a podcast of a gentleman off of TikTok, and I don't remember where he's at, but anyway, he's buying ground. And of course, he's rumors, right? And people are going to say, I don't know how he even pays for that. He's going to lose half that place because there's no way he's going to pay for it. And he said, even if I lose half of it, I still have half more than I had when I started. Such a great mindset. Take some time to get to that thought process. Take some time. But everybody can go with a parcel map and they can see what you own anyway. They can talk to the neighbors and they're going to know what you farm. This is no secret. And the gentleman that was on TikTok that said somebody came to his house and they picked something up from Marketplace from him. And they said, how many acres you farm? And he told them, and they go, oh, cool. And then they went about their business. He said the guy didn't even care. Some people asking you that may not know what else to talk to you about. But if I'm a business owner, I'm going to ask these business owners, hey, how's business? How are you doing? I just spent time with one of my clients that owns Wyotech Community College. And what did we talk about? How many students do you have? How many buildings are you adding on? What does that cost look like? How's the college doing? He did not once go, oh, Mary Jo, you're just being nosy. I don't want to tell you that stuff. He told me everything I wanted to know. And I wanted to know because I'm super proud of him. I'm super proud of where he's gotten that college and what he's done to bring that college back to life and what the value of that school is. I think that's awesome. And now what do? I look back and go, whoa, that's the guy I want business advice from because he's amazing. It's a business, you guys. And nobody's going to swoop in and buy your ground from you. They're not going to even swoop in to lease your ground unless you are a horrible tenant, right? I don't know. I don't get it. But somebody please let me know. Okay. Email me with your thoughts, maryjo@withoutthebank.com. I'm sure I will get a lot of them because this is a hot topic. If you have not gotten your Farming Without the Bank book yet, go to farmingwithoutthebank.com, get your book, read it, schedule your appointment. Just like you couldn't farm 10,000 acres overnight, you can't farm without the bank overnight. So have patience. All right, you guys, you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.